Where do you stand on the team's prospects, the chances of kind of duplicating what they did last year?
I think that, and the question came up last Friday on my Slow Time daily podcast. We shut down PFT Live for 6 weeks when it's slow, but it's never slow, so I do 45 minutes a day on my own. Somebody asked what I think of a Bills-Rams Super Bowl, and I said, hey, those are two of the teams that are in the window. Every year there's 10 or 12 teams that are in the window, and there's a team or two that can defy that and play their way into the window, but this year, Commanders are one of the teams in the window. They are one of the teams in the window. I was on in Dallas yesterday, and they were trying to get upset because they don't have the Cowboys in the window, and, ultimately they agreed. Like, they're not. They're just not. And the Commanders are. Now, have they closed the gap sufficiently with the Eagles? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how much from last year carries over. The team, the players, they're a little on the older side. Can they duplicate what they did last year? What's Jaden Daniels going to do in year two after defenses have had a full offseason to study what he did last year and try to crack the code a little more cleanly on how to beat him? But I think they're in the window, and it's up to them at this point. But, there's 5 teams in each conference that I'd look at as being seriously in the window, with maybe another 1 or 2 on the fringes, but they're one of the 5 in the NFC.
Mike, how do you see this Terry McLaurin situation playing out?
They're going to have to pay him. Look, $15.5 million in the last year of his contract. The market's now north of $40 million. This is his last best shot to get paid. I think he turns 30 in September.
Yep.
So this is the time to get paid. And it's a deadline-driven business. It depends on when both sides believe the clock strikes 12. The Cowboys' attitude is the clock doesn't strike 12 until week 1, and if the guy holds out, so be it. It's just more publicity for the team. I don't think that's conducive to winning. The goal should be to try to get this thing done and resolved before the first day of training camp and not have a holdout, not have a hold-in, not have acrimony, come up with a proper value. And the complication is when you go pick up Deebo Samuel's contract and you're paying him this year and he's making more cash than Terry McLaurin, that's another sticking point. And I don't think it's a question of whether or not they think he should get another contract. I think the easy answer to that is yes. Does he deserve a contract? Yes. The question is, how do you get the two sides on the same page as to how much that contract should be worth? Is he a north of 30 guy? Is he a south of 30 guy? And 30 may be the magic number. I don't know. And for some players, all that matters is the APY that gets tweeted by the insiders who get the best possible characterization of the contract from the agent when the contract is done. And there may be some bullcrap back-end numbers that drive the average higher. Tyreek Hill's deal had that to get him to 30 when it wasn't 30. Devontae Adams' deal when he signed with the Raiders, it had back-end bullcrap to get him to 28. You can do stuff like that if it's about the player. And I don't want to say this in a pejorative way, that it's about his ego, because the APY has become the measuring stick among players on different teams. And that's your status symbol. What's my APY? It doesn't matter if it's not backed up by reality. So if that's part of it, they could put something together that pays him as a practical matter less than that number, but gets him to a number that he can feel good about.